Viewer discretion is advised.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the New to Wrestling podcast. My name is Xavier Cruz. I'm joined by our co-host, Kelsey Silva. This week, we watched the April 21st edition of Raw is War, and the match card is as follows. We had the Sultan taking on Ahmed Johnson in our opener. In our next match, we had Bret Hart taking on Stone Cold Steve Austin in a street fight. Salvatore Sincere takes on the debuting Tiger Ali Singh. Rockabilly and Jesse James run it back from the pay-per-view, and The Undertaker takes on Hunter Hearst Helmsley with Chyna in our main event.
Run it back from the pay-per-view. Love that.
Oh yeah. Did we just talk about these two? Yes. Is the commentary going to be much the same? Yeah, because they gave us
hated it.
Nothing.
Nothing. Oh my god. I can't wait till we talk about this because it's going to be just brief and horrible.
Right. Very quickly.
Vicious.
Very briefly, I did want to give a quick shout out to you guys can't see. For those of you watching, I am wearing a Geeks Who Like Sports t-shirt. For those of you who don't know, I am one of the producers of the show, but this weekend I got to be a part of their kind of mini episodes called The Mashup, where they take something from like the sports world and mix it with the geek or whatever world. But this past weekend we got to do a mashup, which was which WWE wrestlers would make good superheroes. So I got to be invited on that. It's a quick little 15-minute episode. Check them out wherever you check out podcasts, same as us. But yeah, shout out to them for allowing me to come on, have a little fun, and make some weird comparisons. So
it was honestly so good, and love the merch. Obsessed with that shirt. While we were watching, I didn't know that's what it was. Yeah. And I was like, what shirt is that? It's so cute. And Xavier's like, it's a Geeks Who Like Sports shirt. And I was like, well, it worked. It worked. I was like, I'm obsessed. So cute. Please send me one. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Hello. Oh, please. I got you, fam. I got you.
I'm kidding.
So let's get into this one. First, it starts with a little recap of the fireball incident of the pay-per-view the day prior, in which Paul, why can't I think of his name? Paul Bear.
You don't need to cancel.
Because Paul Bear got his comeuppance when The Undertaker returned the favor and burned his face off.
Yeah, and we saw a new angle, and it was in there. It was a blaze.
Quite a visual. Yeah, like his whole face was in the flames. So
yeah, it was pretty bad. So
yeah, because from whatever they gave us at the pay-per-view, it was very it was very like a sleight of hand kind of situation,
Yeah, for sure.
And then he like put the like suit jacket like over his face so you couldn't like see anything. But this recap really painted the picture for us. It was really
Yep.
But I mean, karma. So as JoJo Siwa would say.
Oh my god.
Karma's a bitch.
Not JoJo. I'm dead. Love the rebrand. She is so crazy for that.
So crazy for that.
She is so crazy. Is it she? I can't remember. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing Miss JoJo.
Oh, I thought she was just a lesbian. I didn't know that she had
I wasn't sure. I'm not sure, but anyway, listen, go off queen, do whatever you want. I don't know, just you were really crazy for that.
Yeah, we're all waiting to see what the hell you're gonna do now.
You know what? It's gonna be a journey, and I'm gonna be, even though the seatbelt is on, I'm not sure if I can handle the coaster, but like let's see.
I was like, marketing genius or like one hit wonder. Like what do we got?
Prove me wrong, girl. I want to see it.
No,
Listen.
absolutely. In my house, it is a big how you say hate watch.
Absolutely. And I love that. And I know, because I know who you live with and I love them so dearly. And I love that I can absolutely 100% believe we are hate watching this experience. And I'm here for that.
It's hilarious.
Here for that.
Speaking of some hatred, we have Stone Cold Steve Austin coming in for an interview with Vince. It is announced that on May 11th, he has been named the #1 contender to the Undertaker's WWF Championship, which means that in a couple weeks, we are going to have a rematch of our first ever main event, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, I love that you brought that up.
Very full circle for the podcast. So in our very first episode, you can go back and listen. It's like July something, 1996. these two went at it, and they were in a very different place. If we all remember, Stone
In
Cold
their
had like
careers.
literally just won the King of the Ring tournament. We were still very much in the like get to know you phase of Stone Cold.
Yeah.
I mean, it was before he was Stone Cold. They were still calling him the Ringmaster, if that's any indication of how far we've come.
Dang, I don't even
Yeah.
remember this. How crazy.
And now we have fully basically seen the like metamorphosis of Stone Cold Steve Austin like becoming a main event player through his feuds with mainly Bret. Is kind of what ascended him to that. But we're
Yeah.
gonna see just Stone Cold being a main event player is not going anywhere. So
So
let's just all
amazing.
buckle in, get used to it. But that's going to be an exciting match regardless. There's a lot
Yeah.
of like other factors, so I don't know how we're gonna get through an entire match. I dare say we probably won't,
No, for sure
but
not.
I still want to see him do it.
Yeah. One, I would love to see a side by side of those two things. Like our first episode talking about them and our this one
Oh
because
my
like things have
god.
so like even just like set, like I literally used to record in the dark on the floor, like so just, but
Just
also
upgrades.
and just like the verbiage that I used to use because I literally didn't know anything. And also too, I can't believe I expect you to remember things that happened like, X amount of years ago when I can't even remember that this happened last year. So I
Right.
want to publicly apologize to you. Not that I like hold a gun to your head and I'm like, why don't you remember? But like
No, no, no,
when
no,
you're like,
no.
didn't
There,
remember that happened,
yeah.
obviously. I don't even remember what happened last year. What a
Yeah,
shock.
well, yeah. And we gotta take a stock. Like I was a wee child
You were
when
also a child. Yeah.
when a
I'm a full
lot of
grown
this
adult
was
and I was
going on.
like, what? When Xavier said that, he was like, wow, it's like our first episode. I was like, was it?
I was like,
Horrible.
mm-hmm.
Bad host. Bad
Um,
host.
so Stone Cold basically just shuts that conversation down. He's like, no, 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 we're not talking about the Undertaker May 11th. That's not what we're doing
Mm-mm,
here. I'm
mm-mm,
here to talk
mm-mm.
about Bret Hart.
Work.
Basically, he's like, I'm here to call him out. He's like, you all saw I beat him at his own game. I beat him within an inch of his life. And you know what? I'm not done. Because if it wasn't for Bulldog and Owen, the job would have been done. So, Bret, why don't you just bring your ass down here? Don't even bother putting on your black and pink tights because they look like shit anyway. And
Literally
just come on
amazing.
down because like we got beef. Let's squash it. And you're like, all right, okay. And
I'm in.
they fully put on like a countdown like clock and just let that run down like a whole minute. And you're like,
Love.
okay.
Like the New
And
Year's Eve ball dropping.
no, fully. Like, and then Stone Cold does his a la Royal Rumble when he's just sitting in the corner, just like looking at his freckles.
Ah!
Like,
So
um,
funny.
and basically, as the time's like running out, Stone Cold's like, I knew you were nothing but a
Mm,
coward and you weren't gonna show your face. He's like, that's fine. I'll come find you. Don't worry about it.
love.
And starts to like
I'm
make
gonna
his
come get you.
yeah, he says somebody come get her, and he's like, I'm on it. Like he's like, I'm on
He's
it.
like,
Thank
you
you.
got it.
um,
I'll be right here.
so Stone Cold starts making his way towards the back when on our handy dandy Titantron, the Hart Foundation shows up, and he's like, whoa, whoa there.
Hold up.
Basically, he calls all of the American fans as well as Stone Cold Steve Austin hyenas, how they have no morals, no family values, yada yada.
Not
we
no.
we've seen this before. I recognize that tree. We get it.
Hmm.
So Bret Hart accepts the challenge, but he's basically just like, no, like I'll fight you when I want to fight you. So like we'll get back to that like later on. So and apparently that's enough for Stone Cold because he just starts making his way to the back. He's like, still gonna find you. It's fine.
Yeah, that's okay. No, that's fine. Say what
No,
you
no,
want to
no.
say, but I'll be there.
Right, 100%. He's like, you can come here, I can come to you. It's really here nor there. So do what you will. Um, Then we have our actual first match, which is the Sultan taking on Ahmed Johnson. Uh, again, these we're in a phase of WWF where it's more the plot than the actual wrestling.
Mm,
I feel like we saved the big, heavy wrestling kind of moments for the pay-per-views, and a
mm-hmm.
lot of this stuff is really just plot movement. So
Yeah.
the Sultan is, of course, accompanied by the Iron Sheik and was Bob there today? I don't really
No.
recall. No,
Because if Bob
it
was
was
there, you'd
stunningly
know.
quiet, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you'd know.
Um but yeah, so essentially this match is just furthering the Ahmed Johnson Nation beef. The
Which is
Sultan still can't
hysterical.
pin.
Ooh,
Ahmed Johnson gets the better of the Sultan with like a slew of scissor kicks. Other than
so
that,
good.
not really too much of note as far as the match itself goes. The Nation, of course, makes their way out, and I will never understand that for some reason when everybody else comes out and they play their music, it stops at some point. But for some
Yeah.
reason, when the Nation comes out, it is the entirety of like their time out there that you just have the Nation of Domination just
Like,
playing in the back, and you were like, no, I can see them. I don't
I know they're
need.
there.
I was like, I don't need the
Cause,
soundtrack.
cause honestly, you know, would be such a serve if it just like you know how like the Undertaker is just the gong or like
Hmm.
Stone Cold like the glass breaking. If they just said like "We are the nation" and that's it, and then it just
Right,
cut the track, and then they're just standing there.
right,
Work. That's a serve to me. But if you just keep blasting it at me, like shh, quiet.
right.
But if you just hit me with that "We are the nation" and then suddenly, lights come on, there they
Hmm.
are. Work.
You
I'm
know
here. I'm
what?
sold.
It gives you the same energy as like when someone like tells a joke and like the group doesn't hear it, so they like do it again, and you're like, no, there was a choice not to acknowledge you, and you just
Right. It's
affirmed
like, did
that
they not
choice.
hear it or did they choose not to hear it?
Right, right,
And
right,
that
right,
you have to, that's a learn to read the room kind of ability that you have to obtain.
right. That's what I'm saying.
And like, you know what's worse when you're that person and then there's one person that's like, oh yeah, like one person acknowledges
One
and you're
person
like,
heard.
I would take a bullet for you. Just know
Right,
we're bonded by blood right now.
right. No, 100%. Thank you.
But
I'm
it's
no
never
longer
that way with the
stranded on this
nation.
island.
Yeah,
No, because
exactly.
they just
Never that
show
way.
up and their song's playing the whole time, and we're like, okay, like now I can't focus on anything else other than the Nation, which might be the point. I don't know,
I don't
but
know.
if you're just gonna stand there, I'm good. You know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
if they were gonna come in and like wreak havoc, sure, play the song, do
Please
what you
don't.
want. But if you're gonna just like chill at the top of the entranceway, doesn't matter. So essentially, this triggers I don't know, his what am I thinking of? His like Pavlovian response, which is to grab a 2x4
Oh my
at this
God,
point.
literally.
Because
That's so
the
funny.
Nation grabs a 2x4. It is the next step in how to
Makes
address
sense.
the
Yeah,
Nation.
no,
Yeah.
that's so
Um,
true.
and so that basically like wards off the Nation for a little bit, and then he just takes it and just lays it in on the Sultan. He just
For fun.
beats the hell out of
I
the Sultan with the 2x4, causing the end of the match. And yeah, he's just like basically he's like, look what I'm gonna do to you. Just stay.
I'm gonna borrow this man
He's like,
for
you
an
stay right
example.
there. Yeah, no, 100%. He's like, please look at your textbooks, example 1A.
And then if you go to if you see the motion, you know when they draw like the motion lines,
Oh, fully. Yeah.
that's happening
Mhm.
there. It's hitting. I will say the 2x4 is literally for the nation. It's like a garlic to vampires. They
No,
literally they
cannot
don't even
handle
let
it.
it get close. They're like
They're like, no,
so
no,
afraid.
no, no.
Like
He's got plank. And you're
no,
like, oh,
swear. It's so crazy. And I will say too, slightly off topic, but Jerry has a really good, it's like so stupid it's good. But he literally
yes.
goes, if stupidity was water, Ahmed would be Niagara Falls.
Yes, in regards to him accepting the like gauntlet like challenge, basically, along the same lines of Farouk calling him an idiot. Yeah,
It's
he's just
just
carrying on
funny.
that one. No,
Because
it's absurd.
what a random analogy. Like it's just such a random analogy. Like if Ahmed if stupid was water.
Right,
Like that is really silly. I don't know.
right.
It just really tore me up.
Uh, so we move on from that one, and it cuts to Stone Cold Steve Austin just in a rampage backstage with a chair, just
Mm.
swinging, trying to break down doors. He finds the Hart Foundation locker room, and he's just like banging on the door with the chair. He's trying to kick down the door, and like halfway through it, they're like, we have cameras on the inside. I was like, you could have set that up from the rip. And
Uh,
so he's like, oh, and then it's just chaos in the room. Bret's like yelling at all the officials and is like, no, like I'll fight him when I feel like fighting him, essentially. And then he basically like understands that he's not going anywhere. He's like, tell him to go down to the ring and I'll like meet him there. And you're like who, first of all, who's the ones like Mr. Austin? Um,
mm.
Bret says, go down to the ring and he will meet you there. Like
Yeah,
whose
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 job is
job?
that?
Like because that person ceased to have consciousness. Like, I
They're
guarantee
dead.
it. Because if there's anything Stone Cold doesn't do, and that is differentiate. Like, you know what I mean?
From
It is
messenger to message. Yeah, no.
no. It
Fair
is,
game.
yeah, no. It is all in opposition, therefore it's fair game. So like, I don't know why Brett's sending anybody out there to play middleman, because you know who he is.
And there is not one person I can think of, and it is obviously by design, but there's not one person who Stone Cold's like, yeah, that person's cool with me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, not one.
Not one.
There
Does not
is, you
matter.
just have to scream at him from a megaphone, like at the cage he should be held in.
Right.
Like, by the way, your match starts in 20 minutes. Like, well, and
Right.
he's just like at the bars, like
Yeah,
that's how it
literally.
should be. That's it. And I love it. I love to see it. I
No,
love that Bret is like taking this douchey quarterback kind of role
mm-hmm.
where it's like, I'll go out to the field when I'm ready. Like,
Right. No, yeah, fully.
okay.
And I love it. I love that I love this heel turn.
Oh, love it.
I'm
Oh, I'm
eating it up.
obsessed.
And so is the
Obsessed.
crowd, because like, there's still some people in the crowd with their like Bret Hart like signs, and they're like,
The
they're
shirts.
holding out, like they're holding out. But then like
Yeah.
everyone else though, ooh, they love to boo him.
Big
It's so
boo.
good.
Big boo. Capital B. Boo, it's Halloween. Boo, boo, boo.
So then we cut from that to what I was just really shook by, which was this like weird
Y'all.
like breaking news story, I guess, which is like Vader being like detained in Kuwait, and it's like, it has like, literally it's just Vader's like giant head, like bars, just iron bars like right across
They
his
like
face, and it's like day
anime.
9. I'm like, okay, I was like, just give this man like a metal cup and just have him just do this. Like,
I wanna go home.
because the way that they like played this up into like, just like, what is happening? So let's backtrack into how we got here, because we literally were just assaulted with this image of Vader behind bars, and we're just like, but how did we get here? And
Like,
so
get here.
what apparently what happened was, is that Vader was on an interview with I guess it was the Undertaker also,
Yeah, he was
in
there.
Kuwait.
It was called Good Morning Kuwait, by the
Yeah.
way.
And
Back to you, Jan.
so apparently the interviewer asked Vader if wrestling was like fake, in which he took great offense to it, and like grabs him by like the scruff of his shirt, and is like, does this feel fake to you? And you're like, no, but it does feel like assault, which apparently the Kuwaiti government also concurred, because they
Yeah,
held him and didn't allow him
against
to
his will.
travel, which is crazy.
Wild.
Crazy,
So
crazy.
I looked this up because I had to know if this was real, because honestly, first of all, if it was real, kind of work, kind of a serve. Do you think wrestling's fake? You're asking me on the news. I'll literally fight you. Like, I don't know, whatever.
Right.
But so what I found out, I'll try and make this brief, is what I found out is that Vader says, this is a statement, a quote I found, that he was approached before the segment by the producer of Good Morning Kuwait and was like, hey, when the interview was going to ask you if wrestling is fake, we want you to flip out, we want you to ban, we want you to flip a table, we want you to like just, whatever, because we think it'll be great for views. And Vader was like, I was told that I should act appropriately when I'm in this country, because otherwise you can be detained for inappropriate behavior, and I don't think I should do that. And the guy like pushed him and pushed him and pushed him. He was like, okay, fine, I'll do it. What he didn't share is that he didn't tell the interviewer that he was going to do it. So he thought the interviewer was in on the thing, and he was not. So when he got up and flipped out, if you watch the clip, the interviewer's fear is very real, very bodily, like may have wet himself
Yeah.
fear, because Vader is obviously not small and really scary.
Right.
And meanwhile, the Undertaker is sitting there like this.
No, fully. Yeah, the definition of just like, mind your own business, like that. He said,
not my monkeys, not my circus. I've never even seen
I
you
have
before in my
never seen
life.
someone so like, so physically in a situation be so mentally removed from a situation. Because he was just sitting there on the other couch, just like,
literally like this.
unbothered.
I mean,
Unbothered.
I aspire to be that level of unbothered. I literally beg for that level of unbothered.
No,
I wish.
that is a piece I have never known.
Never in my life, girl. I
No.
wish. But yeah, so apparently, so then he said like for the bit I took the L, like I got detained. He didn't say the L, he said something else, I can't remember, but he was like, he has been on house arrest for like 10 days or something for
Yeah.
that. But so it was like
So
half real, half fake, not really sure. But either way, the detainment was very, very real. And they had felt the need to put a 90s prison bar sliding graphic over it. So
no,
might as well have been
fully.
like the opening to an Akon song, like
No,
convict.
yeah, no, literally, literally. And
They won't let me out. Dang it.
and apparently
Dang
we're gonna
it.
find out next week because he's like going to trial. Like,
Craziness. I can't even. I can't even.
absolutely
You can go
bonkers.
down a rabbit hole on Reddit. There's a whole thread about it if you feel like it.
Oh, amen, amen, amen. So then it cuts to Ken Shamrock, who is apparently on commentary just for this little bit. Basically he goes into like a spiel about not liking bullies, and then he proceeds
Sorry.
to he's like, I'm gonna put an end to that bully in reference to Vader. So he calls out Vader for a match at the pay-per-view. So we might see Ken Shamrock's like first full like real match with like
Against Vader.
a challenge, because Vader is, we know Vader hits hard. And I was
That's
actually
crazy.
reading McFoley's book. And it opens with the story of how McFoley like lost his ear. It was in a
As it
match
should.
with Vader. And he's like there are those people that like who like it looks like they're like hitting you hard and they're not. And then there are people that it looks like they're hitting you hard because they're hitting you hard. And he's like, and Vader is one of those people. He's like,
I believe it.
if you had a match with Vader, like, you had a match with Vader. Like, you feel it.
Well, he lost a freaking ear. He'll always know he had a match with Vader.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I believe that. We've talked about this. Check the record because we've literally been like, the way he punches is too casual with so much weight behind it. I just
Mm-hmm.
know he's hitting people. Like, it's just like,
So the incident he does, him being Mick does the the weird over the top rope neck choke thing.
mm-mm.
So apparently when he got out of that, it like tore mostly. So he continues the match, and apparently at a strike that Vader like hits him in the side of the head, he's like, and you can see like there is footage. You can
I gotta see
see
it.
it just go bloop, and just like fall off of his head, like just just
No.
falls off of his head. Yeah. So I'm excited to see Ken
I'm like,
Shamrock and Vader go at it, because like that's crazy.
okay, so obviously I knew Mick Foley lost his ear in a match against Vader. I did, and I knew it had something to do with those ring ropes, and I think that's why they make me so nervous. It's like PTSD. The fact
Right.
that he still does it after he lost an ear is
Yeah.
like that man. I didn't know it was like that Vader literally punched his ear. That's
He
crazy.
just punched his ear off
Oh
fully.
my God, that is so
And
crazy. Wow.
apparently they like were like freaking out about it. And
Obviously.
like someone like brings the ear to
No.
Ric Flair, who's in the back, because he's like at this time like the booker, and he like puts it on ice like for Mick. Like so that
Well, that was nice.
yeah, so that he yeah.
And Mick says what? He's like, I don't need it. It's fine.
No, I mean they go and try and get it like fixed or whatever, but essentially what they do is he's basically, they're in Germany at this time. They were like, we can't fix it like now. But what they did is they took all the cartilage out of that piece and stored it in like part of his ear, so that should he do like a full like reconstructive surgery later, like all the pieces of cartilage are just like in there. Isn't that crazy?
The human
Body
body.
is crazy.
Because I know they do that. Like I know they've stored cartilage in like they'll store things in people's bones or like grow like
Mm-hmm.
things inside
So
people's
apparently he's got like
bodies
a flap or whatever that's just like full of cartilage.
just for a
Uh,
rainy day.
yeah,
He feels like
essentially.
it.
Yeah. Isn't that
Imagine on
crazy?
his deathbed, he's like, do it.
No, yeah,
He
just
finally goes, yeah, do it.
yeah, crazy.
That's crazy. Wow, God bless. That's
Yeah.
wild.
And then Ken Shamrock just turns his attention to Mike Tyson, because apparently Mike Tyson is, we got beef with him too. And
Apparently.
he challenged Mike Tyson to a match in the WWF, which seems a little crazy. Considering that like
Super.
he's from UFC, Mike Tyson's from boxing, and I was like, what? I was like, don't get me wrong. There is a time Mike Tyson does grace WWF television at some point in time.
Work.
I don't know if it is for this necessarily, but
Wow.
I know he definitely is involved later on in about a
Wow.
year-ish or so. Um, so next we get the street fight between Stone Cold Steve Austin and Bret Hart, and boy, was that
Girl.
wild. So
Super.
Stone Cold is waiting in the ring. He's just waiting and waiting. Then we
Mm-hmm.
hear Bret's music go off. He starts like making his way down. I don't think you saw it, but through the crowd you can see Bulldog jump the railing.
Mm.
And then it is Bulldog and Owen attacking Stone Cold from behind. They're like kicking his ass, as because he's completely outnumbered. It's 3-1.
Mm.
Then our boy. Oh, first of all, I wanted to make mention of the crop top that Bulldog was wearing because it was absolutely stunning. Just throwing it out there.
Thank you so much. Thank
I
you for your
am a
service.
slut for a crop top, and boy, did he deliver.
Thank
Uh,
God. Amen.
um, but our boy Shawn Michaels made his return when he came to save the day, swang in a chair. Kelsey must have known. Like, for those of you
I
who
literally predicted this.
are just listening, she is wearing essentially what I'm gonna call a Shawn Michaels through the ages t-shirt.
Yes.
Um,
Amen.
and it's fantastic.
And
So
I wore this all day. Like I wore this to work and everything.
I
I was
love
like, y'all
that.
are gonna
I love
know.
that you now just wear wrestling things in the wild.
I know. I actually saw this quickest antidote. I was at work doing something outside, like for my job, and a guy walked by in a Bret Hart shirt. And I was like, oh my God, love your shirt. Cool. This guy was like, uh, thank you. Shocked.
I
Shocked.
know. Shocked. Is,
Shocked.
is it because a female talked to him? No, I'm just kidding.
I don't know. I think he was just whatever, but I was just
He's
like,
probably just surprised that anybody acknowledged it, you know?
yeah. Shout
Um,
out to that guy.
so yeah, so after Sean clears the ring of the other two stooges, Bret has the upper hand because he is left in the ring with a like deceased Stone Cold, essentially.
Mm.
Um, and he tries to do the chair stomp on Stone Cold Steve Austin, that Stone Cold did to Brian Pillman, blah blah blah. We've seen it before. So
Mm-hmm.
as Bret Hart is going to jump down from the ring, the second rope, I think that's where he is.
Mm-hmm.
Stone Cold just moves his foot out of the way, takes the chair, smacks Bret in the knee with it, which then ensues like 5 straight minutes of Stone Cold Steve Austin just obliterating Bret Hart's leg, wrist, spirit, I guess one would
All
say.
of the above, yeah.
And he was just going to town. We do have this fun exchange where essentially Bret and Stone Cold are just flipping each other off. Like
Oh, so
they're
good.
just going back
So
and
good.
forth.
Love to
Um,
see it.
when Bret gets put in the sharpshooter for a very, very long time.
Like a stupid amount of time.
Like if we thought the WrestleMania 13 sharpshooter was brutal, like
Never for
this
what?
took that. Um,
And his leg was literally
oh, it was
just
very bent.
mm-mm, mm-mm, mm-mm.
He was feeling it. It
It was
took
incorrect.
basically every official in the building to pry Stone Cold Steve Austin off of Bret Hart, and it was wild. So then a slew of like medical personnel have to get Bret out of there. Stone Cold Steve Austin is getting a just in the face of Gorilla Monsoon backstage. Gorilla's like had enough. He's like, you need to get out of here. He's like, you need to take a walk. You need to get some air. I don't know what you're doing, but like, you need to go.
Go literally kicked him out.
And all the while, Stone Cold's like, you're lucky I don't kick your ass too. He's like, I did you literally as we're cutting to commercial, he's like, I did you a favor. Like, and you're like,
Yep.
oh my goodness. You're like, this man is pissed.
Imagine yelling at your boss like that. That is so crazy.
I know. Like not even just like your it's like so many levels because it's like he yells at Vince like that, he yells at Gorilla like that. He don't care.
Everybody. Nobody's
He don't care.
safe. Nobody's safe.
So in our next match, we have Salvatore Sincere taking on the debuting Tiger Ali Singh, who is the son of Tiger Jeet Singh. So he's a second generation superstar. He hasn't wrestled in, as far as like WWF television is concerned, just yet. But he did win the like Kuwaiti Cup, which they have every time they go over there. The last year's winner was Ahmed Johnson. So they had a whole tournament while they were in Kuwait, which I guess makes sense as to why there was so much not seen in those like weird couple episodes where we were like
right.
we were
That makes sense.
everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Essentially this is just to make to give Tiger his like first impression. This is
Mm-hmm.
his like his coming out party.
It was good.
Essentially. Yeah, he looks great. He's a big dude, big beefcake. Looks
Mm-hmm.
great. Like the aesthetic is there, the moves are
Mm-hmm.
there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know much as far as personality goes because we haven't seen him.
Mm-hmm.
I- he hasn't had the opportunity to show us anything in that regard.
Mm-hmm.
So we do know he wins with like a spinning heel kick. I don't know if that's like his all the time finisher, if that's just how he finished this match.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then it cuts to after the match, it cuts to Bret Hart being like put onto the ambulance. And I love all the while that Owen is for some reason like the point person of like medical advice. Like because like,
Like,
he's like out here like like where are the EMTs? Like why is Owen Hart in his Michigan like tracksuit just like out here
I
just like
can't.
watch his knee, like his wrist is broken,
Put
like
more
watch
ice
where he's
on it.
going. Yeah, and
Elevate it. We were like,
you're
who are you
no
right now?
100%. I was like, this man just like grabbed a first aid kit from the wall and like ran with it. He's
Yeah,
like,
fully committed
like
to the bit, committed to the bit. But in the tracksuit, he looked like college football team,
mhm.
like medical assistant, whomever that
Yeah,
like runs out and they're like, all right, get the ice on it, like put him in the back of the car, like la
yeah.
la la, like driving set, like they're so serious about it. So it kind of works for me.
So they finally get Brett into the car, into the
No,
ambulance. They close the doors,
girl.
and then we get this camera angle. And Kelsey the entire time is just like, wouldn't it be so crazy? Wouldn't it be just wild if he's like in the front, like he's driving the ambulance, and I'm just like, I can't say anything,
But
obviously.
Xavier sold it so good because he goes, I mean, I would love that. And so I was
Yeah.
like, oh, okay, work. He's not doing that. But that would have been, I was like, missed opportunity. I'm so upset. And then like
And lo and behold, it cuts it like pulls out of the frame that they're in, and it's just stone cold knocking over whoever the EMT person is, like driving the ambulance. And then he goes and crawls in the back and just continues to beat on Bret Hart. He goes so far as to prop Bret strapped into the gurney, just off the edge, the back edge of the ambulance, and is just wailing on him while his arms are just strapped in
pinned,
there,
like
looking crazy. And I lived for it. It was amazing.
lived. It was so, I mean, thank God. The scream I scrumped. The
The
scream I
scream
scrumped
I scrum.
because
So good.
I was like, because they was like, yeah, I would have loved that. Or I would love that. And I was like, okay, so it doesn't happen, whatever. And then it's happening. And I'm like, I was like, oh my God. I was like, no way. And then literally, yeah,
No,
Brett
yeah,
propped up on the back of the ambulance took me out. I was like, this poor man. I fully expected, I thought he was gonna fall forward.
no,
Like that would have been
fully.
real
That
bad. Oh
that
my
was
God.
his like when they find the scarecrow in the Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, oh my God. And they're
It's
like,
just like
they gotta like,
he's
yeah.
like, where's the
Oh,
hospital? He's like
oh my, so
um
crazy. Oh my God, it was amazing. Thank God. I don't know who think props.
shout out.
Exactly what I wanted. Fed me. Thank you so
Amen.
much.
So in our next match, we had a rematch from the In Your House pay-per-view of Jesse James taking on Rockabilly.
I'm furious.
It was literally, I don't know what the thought process behind this was. Like, let's have the same exact match that we had yesterday. The same one. No higher stakes, nothing different. The only real
Literally.
difference in this match is instead of Jesse James having the upper hand most of the time, Rockabilly had the upper hand most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, it's the same.
Yeah.
Jesse James comes out with his Alone with My Baby Tonight.
Flat.
Sorry, yesterday's was better. So not us being absolutely so mean about it, as if either one of us could do a better job.
Oh
with
my
that
God, no.
song.
No,
that.
I'm judging you from hell. We are both here. It's horrible.
Yeah. But yeah, no.
I am no talent having, judgmental, horrible. You're like, Jesse James came out, and I'm just like, flat.
Just
Flatter than a tire over a nail, the nail factory. I'm over it.
Oh my
Horrible.
God.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, so Rockabilly still can't dance.
Oh my God, it's
still thinks he can
insulting.
dance. It's just really jerky white guy dancing.
Oh, it's horrible.
I can't. It's just a lot of shoulders and a stunning lack of, I don't know, moving your hips or feet or
I'm telling you,
anything else that would anything else that would actually define it as a dance. So
instead of just movement, I don't know. It really is a precursor for things beyond danceability. Like, it's just giving solely forward thrust.
Yeah.
And I literally wrote, I hate that Rockabilly is so confident about his dancing, because he definitely shouldn't be.
That's what I'm saying.
Don't feel secure doing that. Don't feel safe.
I will say, like, if you're gonna do something that bad, at least he's committed to it. I will say. Is it do I wish he had never committed? Absolutely. But if we're here now, if we're here now,
you're right.
I don't want him to like half do a bad dance. That's like even worse.
It's just sad because it feels like that is what he's doing. It still feels half. I don't know. I super duper hate it. But I mean, hopefully.
Yeah.
So, like I said, I know that the next iteration of Jesse James is coming, and that's what I'm holding on for. I'm holding out. So, because his dancing isn't good either. Let's talk about it.
No,
like
it's not.
His is not good either. So, like, it's just a bad dance off. I hate it. Canceled.
So, Rockabilly adopts the swinging neck breaker, which was the Honky Tonk Man's like finisher, the shake, rattle, and roll. And then Jesse James goes in to kind of get some licks in on Rockabilly after the match is completed, and that is when the Honky Tonk Man sneaks in and absolutely clobbers Jesse James with his guitar. Just straight turns that into dust. So, I guess he got his payback. There it is.
But it's like, your man already won. Like, we don't need to do all of this. Like, so crazy. Like, Rockabilly already won. Gross. But he already won. Like, we don't need to do all this madness. But, I mean, whatever. Go off, I guess. Break more guitars. It's fine.
Amen. Moving on. So we get another backstage segment, and it is like just cutting into the middle of an argument. It is Stone Cold Steve Austin and the Heartbreak Kid just yelling at each other. Essentially, Stone Cold's not pleased with the fact that Sean came out to help him earlier, and Sean's like, he's like, don't flatter yourself. I didn't come out there to help you. I came out there to get my licks on them. He's like, no, we just have the same enemy. I don't know why, like, this wasn't for you. And so they're going at it. Gorilla Monsoon's out here playing like mediator, a piss poor one, I might add.
Oh, so bad.
So bad. He's just
so bad. Love him. So bad.
Nothing makes like irate people like more irate than telling them to calm down, like in the middle of all of that.
I was like, let's pour gasoline on him. Set him ablaze.
Thank you for that just riveting contribution, Gorilla. Let's see if we can actually separate the two, shall we? Then we get a Mankind promo. I'm not going to go too far into this. Essentially, it is just him describing the burning flesh of Paul Bearer in great detail.
Yeah. But he says handsome face, and we all know that's a stretch and a lie.
Yeah. He's talking about like smelling the burning flesh, and then he's talking about how Paul never like made a sound, even though if you watch the footage, he's clearly like weeping, shrieking, and wailing,
like a stuck pig.
Yeah, and then he's like talking about how like he has a melted face and he's disfigured just like me. So yeah. So obviously Mankind's cut deep about the Paul Bearer burning, I guess. So,
The burning of Paul Bear.
oh my God,
Undead.
that sounds like a chapter in something. Next, we have our main event, which is the Undertaker taking on Hunter Hearst Helmsley with Chyna. Chyna
Oh,
came out looking like $1,000,000 today. She
come
said
on.
"Bustier" for
She
days.
said corset, bustier, sweetheart neckline, titties laid. I mean, she is. I love her so much. I've said this a million times. She is so strong. She doesn't sacrifice an ounce of femininity. She is like ponytail, blue scrunchie, like the top with the leggings and the boots. I mean, like the eyeliner. I'm obsessed with her. Like she looked so amazing. And I was like, we were in the middle of talking about how I was so annoyed that they had Undertaker come out first and Triple H come out second. And I was like, that is so stupid. Like, why would they disrespect the champion like that? Like, I know it's not a title match. But and then she walked out and I was like, oh my God,
Forgot it
girl,
real quick.
come on. Like,
Jumped right off that high
I
horse.
was like, oh, whatever, I don't care. She looks so amazing. I loved this look. Go off.
Love. So we get a very brief stare down between Undertaker and Chyna, which like we were just looking forward to seeing just like how they would interact, and this was
Yes.
exactly it. So the
Exactly what
Undertaker,
I wanted. Not too
yeah,
much. Perfect amount.
the Undertaker chases, not chases. The Undertaker goes out to meet Hunter, who's taking his sweet time during his entrance, as he is one to do.
Mm.
And he's like, "Nah, we're gonna fight now." He's like, "Get it moving."
Hmm.
But essentially, he throws Hunter like down the ramp, getting him closer to the ring, and he turns and like they just have this like face off where they're just like neither is like moving. It's good. It was just like, ooh, you wanted to see them interact, and it was just like exactly like a I'm like checking you. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like he's like I think they respect him too much to like go for him like that, like they do with like other people.
Mm-mm.
Um, but it's definitely like a don't get too comfortable.
Fully. Like I would take you down a peg if I could. Like, and it felt like that moment like in the summertime where like you think there's going to be a thunderstorm and it feels very electric in the air, but like the
Hmm.
thunder never hits. Like
Right.
it was like that, whereas like there was definitely crackling and like something
Hmm.
afoot, but then like you never get the satisfaction of like the strike, and that almost makes it better. Like 'cause then he's
Hmm.
like, whatever. And he goes back to like his own match. Ah, love.
Oh, I love
Obsessed.
it. Jerry has another funny in this one. He's basically essentially like talking about like respect.
Oh my
And he's
God.
like, I respect the dead. And he's like, really, that's the only way that I'd have respect for the two of you is if you were
Which
dead. And I
he was so
died.
real for that. He was so
That's
real for
so
that.
funny.
I'm sorry. That is so funny. Like he goes, I respect the dead, and like that's when I'll respect you guys. So like hurry it up.
Right. No,
Crazy.
basically, he's like, if you want respect, you gotta
Crazy.
die first.
Die girl. Bye. Like that is I'm sorry, that's iconic. I
So
love that.
we do get a cut to the crowd, and in the front row is Goldust and Marlena
Obsessed.
in their civvies, in their street clothes. They
Obsessed.
Goldust is Sans Golds,
He looked amazing.
and and JR addressed them by like their real names. He said Dustin and Terry,
He
and
did. I didn't even say I didn't
yeah,
even hear that.
and we were like, oh, I was like, I know them. Does the WWF universe know them? Like, are we supposed to know them like that?
Swear. First of
Um,
all, they look so cute. Also, Xavier's was like a little ahead of mine while we were watching. So I'm watching and I see him go like this to me, like, and I was like, what? And then I was like, I was like, oh my God, I screamed so much today. I'm so sorry. I was so thrilled to see them. Marlena or Terry, whomever, she looked so good. She was wearing like this
mhm.
cute little jacket. She had her hat on with her little ponytail through it. Like you said, Dustin was in his civilian clothes. He looked so cute. Honestly, they were just cozied up at the match. Cozied up at the match watching. Just,
Love that.
taking it in, observing. Love to see.
This match was great.
So good.
Uh,
So good.
I I will like make note that the Undertaker has said throughout his career that Hunter is one of his favorite opponents. And that
Love
is you
that.
can tell that's like they face each other at WrestleMania on 3 separate occasions. So,
Ooh, okay. Love
um
that.
so
But they
it
haven't yet, right?
mm-mm. No. It's not we won't
Love
see
that
them
I'm gonna see all
interact.
three times.
We won't see them interact like that because Hu Hunter is still a little bit of ways from him rising to the like main event scene.
The full peak of the full blossom of his
Right.
career. I know
Uh,
there's so much more coming for him.
there's
I
so
know we're
much
not
more.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's some important steps that have to occur in Hunter's career before we
Right.
get
Of
there.
course.
But we just know that they are very, very like compatible as far as like wrestlers go. This did a really good job because it shows Hunter as not just like a middle card wrestler. It puts him
Yeah.
against the champion and kind of gets that kind of spotlight on him, which is never bad exposure, obviously. So the match continues and we get our boy Mankind just at the top of the stage with a blowtorch. The man just comes down with a whole ass blowtorch, and you're like, is anybody? And is there no security? Is there no like metal detector? Like, not we just got blowtorches, just
in the back,
right,
gassed up and ready to go.
right.
Who did that? Even Vince is like, is anyone gonna stop him?
Right. No,
Vince,
literally.
I don't know. Like, hire more security. I don't know. Aren't you in charge here, sorta? Like, I was really, he was like, is somebody gonna stop him? I was like, you?
Yeah. And of course the Undertaker is just like staring him down. He's like, is this mother really gonna come in here with a blowtorch? Like, and he's
That's
like,
what you
oh,
need to feel safe around me? Good.
honestly. So
Good.
Mankind attacks the Undertaker. Hunter is disqualified. Undertaker gets the victory. He's just wailing on the Undertaker with a blowtorch. We fully believe that Mankind is going to reignite the blowtorch and just use it on the Undertaker's face when the Undertaker goozles him, gets him up. Oh yeah, you've never heard that term?
Wait, no, that's the real term.
Well, I don't know if that's like that's just the term that they use a lot.
Goozles?
Yeah, right around the neck.
Goozle you right in the neck. Wow, love that. Not the goozle.
Love it. So the Undertaker and Mankind are, exchanging in fisticuffs. When it cuts to outside, and you just see Chyna's just kind of like standing like on the outside, and you just see like just a black strap just go right around the neck of Chyna, and then you see Marlena just absolutely just choking the life out of Chyna.
With her
And not
whole
only
body
that,
weight.
she then like jumps over the guardrail and it's just like violently yanking on Chyna's neck with her whole body weight, just like trying to like
queen.
And we love it. We love the what is it? The callback to the original like the original sin.
The original infraction. Yeah,
right.
The original sin. Judas.
So
sick.
We love to see it. And of course, Goldust gets his licks on Hunter.
So calm. He flips off his hat and he says, bah.
Right. And I love this because we didn't get the match that we wanted on the pay-per-view. We talked about this in the last episode. We would have much rather had that match than the Rockabilly Jesse James match, but alas, here we are.
That we had to see twice. If I was going to see it the next night, why are you showing? Whatever. You don't know. You understand.
But I'm glad we did get a progression of this because I was like, it would have been too long with no updates if they didn't do something tonight.
Honestly, so true. And I thought she did it with a belt, and Xavier informed me, he goes, oh, no. She used her purse.
That's her purse.
She used her purse.
I love that.
She said, resourceful queen.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to clock me coming in here with any questionable items.
No contraband on me.
No contraband on me. It's just my purse.
Right.
Weapon.
Just little me.
Mm-hmm. Got you. I love it because it's like just when you thought you were safe, just when you thought you were bigger than me, just when you thought you could stand there and stare down the Undertaker, here I am. Never forget, I'm right here.
Forgot about little scrappy me.
Oh, you thought about little me who's gonna scrap if I got a scrap. Here's a scrap for you. 100%. My purse around your neck.
100%. She said, Grap.
And I love a couple. It's like your enemy is my enemy. If we got to go to the match and sit in the front row just
that's what we signed up for.
That's what ride or die. I'll punch him in the face. You choke him out with the purse, babe. Get in there. I love it.
It's not Chyna do us part. No, it's death, baby. It's death.
Oh God, I'm seriously. And that's when Jerry will respect you. So let's go there.
Fully. So, there's a silver lining at the very least.
I'm so amazed. Loved it. 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10.
Amazing. So can't wait to see the fallout of all of that. And then Stone Cold Steve Austin comes out because it's just not enough. He's essentially supposed to come out for an interview regarding to finally address the WWF Championship match. That is the point of him being there. Essentially, he comes out, he gets attacked from behind once again by Owen and the Bulldog, just because, payback's a bish. So they were coming to get theirs. Once again, Shawn Michaels comes out swanging that chair.
He's ready to fight, girl.
Oh, 100%. So I'm foreseeing a tag team match in our future. But we shall see. I don't know. That's what I'm guessing. I don't know for sure, but
into that.
And you know who hates that? The both of them.
I know. Oh my God. See, that's what I was gonna say. Like, I love when they have to team up and they hate each other.
Right. It's the best.
And it's like the only thing keeping them, the glue that's keeping them together is their even deeper hatred for somebody else. Live for that. Love that combo.
So, yeah, so that is absolutely insane. And then Stone Cold's left in the ring after everyone's been dispersed, and we're like, okay, like, cool, like, why are we still on? What's happening?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, through the crowd, in the brightest pants you've ever seen, is Brian Pillman just coming in to get his comeuppance. Brian Pillman has been on the shelf for a hot minute. He has been suffering from like that leg surgery that he had to have, and then storyline wise, he got his leg stomped by Stone Cold, was held him off at gunpoint, and then we really haven't seen much of him since. There's been like a miscellaneous phone call or promo here and there, but this is the first time we're really getting to see Brian Pillman not injured. This is the first time.
Seriously,
he's literally been here this entire time that we've had this show. And we have yet to see him step foot in the ring.
Yes, because even he was like on commentary, and I got going like, who is this dirty man that keeps coming out here and saying things? But also, Xavier aired me out when I was watching this, because I was like, why would he come out here? Or like, I said something like, what are you doing here? But just like in the heat of the moment, like obviously I know why, but Xavier's like, you think that he was gonna like have his leg destroyed, hospitalized, and then held at gunpoint in front of his wife, and he's not gonna come out here and get a lick? I was like, okay. You're right. When you're right, you're right. I'm sorry.
So this is Brian Pillman's joining of the Hart Foundation.
Love.
It's kind of solidifies that story a little further. But it shows like all of these people got beef with Austin. Like all of these people. And even Jerry's like is saying, it's like, oh, like Stone Cold's really getting like his payback today.
His
like it's really he's like, you make enemies out of everybody, this is what happens. So
and I'm glad you pointed that out, because I was like, dang, like everyone's coming after him, and you were like, well, he's made a lot of enemies like since he's come here. And I was like, that's crazy, because I think because the crowd loves him so much, you almost like forget, and like you love him so much, you almost like forget that so many people hate him, like and that he has no friends, and like everyone just wants to beat the crap out of him. The same way he wants to beat the crap out of anyone. It's mutual. But like, I almost like forgot he had so many people that were willing to like get out there and actually put paws on him, because he's
his whole character is like I stand alone. Like I have no friends and I want none. So that I like that you're seeing the very real consequences of that.
Love that.
Because especially in a like such a tumultuous like landscape, sometimes it's good to have somebody looking at your back, because
honestly true. So true.
So, and especially if you're going to like run your mouth as much as you're going to run your mouth. Like,
honestly, really, really true. Really, really true. Such a good point. And especially because he was like when Vince asked him about the Undertaker, and he's like, well, if when I'm champion, just know I'm not a role model. I don't even like you people wearing these shirts that I have, the Austin 316. I don't even care. Like, I literally don't care about any of you, whatever. And I was like, then when you said that, I was like, wow, so many people are going to be gunning for him then. Like, so many people are going to like really. And I feel like the only person that doesn't directly super duper hate him like was the Undertaker. He was almost like more indifferent, like, sure, I'll fight this guy, like, but now it's like he's really stacking him up.
That's what I'm saying.
Really stacking him up.
So that is where the episode ends, and that
Crazy.
is that on that. So that has been another episode of the New to Wrestling podcast. Thank you all, as always, wherever you find us. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. It all helps. I did want to just do a quick little thank you to our first two guests, Woody from Suplex Vintage Wrestling, as well as Robert Carter. If you haven't checked out those episodes, please do. They were
so
just
good.
fascinating to talk to. And yeah, and just kind of opened the door to hopefully being able to do more stuff like that. So if you guys enjoyed it, definitely let us know. Or if you didn't, let us know. Because we are still we're still learning how to do parts of this. So as always, we'll love ya. We'll see ya next time.
We'll see you there.